From today, the cost of changing one's legal gender comes down from £140 to £5 to make it easier for transgender people to afford. The process is not easier, that's for sure, to get there.
Exactly what I was going to say.
It's exactly the same. However, some people are saying, why the £5? Why not just make it free?
Well, I mean, it's a nominal thing, presumably, for administration, but as far as I'm concerned, that particular journey is one of the hardest, most arduous journeys, physically, mentally, in absolutely every way that any human being can make on this earth. And so anything, I think, that makes it easier and smoother and less complex and less bureaucratic has to be a good thing. And so I welcome this, and I think, you know, that is an excellent step towards making such a difficult thing just a little easier.
Well, Tom, the Equalities Minister, Liz Truss, said in September, this is following a promise to make applying for gender recognition certificates kinder and more straightforward. So the price has come down, but the actual process itself is still hardly kinder and straightforward.
Yes, the two-year wait, or at least 2 years spent living in the gender you want to have legal recognition for, plus then seeing a specialist panel. I mean, I think, again, if the thing that stops you from making that change is the 140 quid that previously existed, that is hugely unfair. So if you've gone through all of that and you can't afford the administration fees, that doesn't feel right. I have to say, I would agree with Caitlin Jenner. I know that this whole issue is incredibly difficult, and my heart goes out to anybody who's had to go through that, as Vanessa described, that horror of that journey. I would agree, though, with Caitlin Jenner, who said, I think the other day, that she felt that trans women should not be taking part in all female sports. That was a position that she'd come to, having gone through that journey. And if we're talking about fairness, I think that would be fair.
Vanessa?
Gosh, I really wouldn't want to be drawn on that. I really do think only people who've been through that journey really understand the significance. And I know that when I used to present the old Vanessa show in the old days, and people would be on the show and they would say, I have to do this because if I don't do this, I will have to kill myself. I cannot live like this any longer. The extreme suffering was so acute that I would never want to say anything that would make anybody feel worse about what they've had to go through, or you know, not wish them absolutely Godspeed in their new life. And if being an athlete was part of it, then that's part of it, as far as I can see.
Yeah. This is a good one. We know that the Duke of Edinburgh was not a wine drinker, much of a spirit drinker. He loved beer. He was a beer drinker, and the Queen has launched her first beer made with with plants, which I'm assuming is hops, grown on her royal Sandringham estate in Norfolk. Sandringham
so nice, doesn't it?
Sandringham Best Bitter, priced at £3.99. And two types of brew available. There's a 4.3% Best Bitter and a stronger 5% Golden IPA.
Well, I'll drink to that. I'd like to raise a toast to it. For one moment, I thought you were talking about Gwyneth Paltrow, who's always launching some product or another. And this time it's the Queen. You know, she wants to monetise a few old hops on the estate. Good luck to her, and I will toast her every day of my life. I think she's wonderful.
Well, there's no way, Tom, that this has just happened. And so I think we can draw some comfort from the fact that the discussions would have been going on for some considerable time, and the Duke of Edinburgh would have been aware that we were heading in this direction.
That's a nice thought.
I will join Vanessa in toasting Her Majesty, I hope, very shortly indoors in a pub with this particular beer, rather than, you know, this horrible image of Her Majesty sitting outside in the freezing cold drinking, you know, the moonshine or whatever. You know, I'm sure it's excellent. Yeah, I'm just making the point. I'm sure it's lovely.
Well, I think what we all want is Her Majesty the Queen with a big frothy beer moustache.
Lovely.
Well, what did you get up to on your bank holiday weekend? Actor Ade Edmondson accidentally trapped himself on a ledge whilst cleaning the windows on Sunday. Detailing his funny mishap, the comedian wrote on Twitter, "Just trapped myself on a window ledge whilst cleaning the windows. Had to ask a passerby to fetch help. Fire brigade came, small crowd gathered, thoroughly enjoying themselves. FB very kindly didn't snigger too much when they rescued me. How's your bank holiday? I mean,
he did it in good heart, didn't he? He made a good laugh out of it. I mean...
Oh, no!
I mean, he's quite high up, you know. And I don't know, should he be paying somebody else to clean the windows at his advanced stage of status, life and income? I just don't know. Is that a bit unsafe?
Well, I mean, I think many people say, well, good on him for cleaning his own windows.
Well, maybe.
You know,
Good on him,
it is a bit high up.
It is a little bit.
It does look a bit scary.
I mean, it's not a very wide ledge, but also you've got to be very careful if you get out there, Tom, that there isn't the ability to get back in.
Oh, no.
Do you know, I actually think he's quite lucky in that my wife is a prolific sleepwalker, and she once climbed out of the 4th-storey window onto the roof in her sleep. So at least the guy was awake when he did it and could call the fire brigade. It was so I think actually, you know, he got away quite luckily.
Tom, that's terrifying.
Wow. Well,
it was absolutely terrifying.
I'm sure it
window
was.
locks immediately.
Did she wake up while she was out there, or did you get her back in again before she woke up?
No, she woke up while she was out there, and I think had the shock of her life.
God.
Oh my God! How did I get here?
Well,
we've got the window locks now.
Well done.
Good.
We asked you for your bank holiday fails, and obviously you never let us down. We rushed off to London, says Jen, for a family emergency. Our daughter was the last one out, locked all the doors. 20 minutes later, I got a call from the husband, who was locked out in the garden. He just got out the hot tub, was in his swimming trunks and flip-flops, and the neighbours had to rescue him.
It's a good look, though, isn't it? Nye just got in touch. He said, I was out on a dog walk. Our dog spotted a fox, bolted with me on the other end of the lead. Ouch.
Sally says, I'm doing a walk a mile a day in May for Macmillan. I decided just to walk my mile in a circle around the local playing field as the weather was awful. This is Sally that's saying this. Totally flat, easy walk, but somehow I managed to trip over my own feet. Face planted the floor. My children found it hilarious. I wasn't hurt, only my pride.
And we should end on these, because these are girls after our own heart. Vanessa, Danielle goes, we got caught in the rain at the pub, but we had our ponchos on, so all was well.
Oh, look
See,
at
that's
that.
the spirit.
That's living the life, living it large. That's great.